All right, last thing to finish up our transformations, I'm going to do some reflections. So reflection in the x-axis. The x-axis is this guy. If I do my reflection in the x-axis, I'm going to end up down here. So that's going to be A prime. B prime is going to be down here. So that's at 5, 2, 4, 5. That's your B prime. And C prime is right 6, 3. So that's your C prime. And you connect those to get your triangle. The rule is, if you're reflecting in the x-axis, you don't change the A value, but you flip it to be the opposite of B. So if this was positive 5, it ends up being negative 5. However you want to remember doing this, you can either sketch it or you can actually remember the rule. The y-axis is going to be very similar, but I'm going to reflect across the y-axis, reflect in the y-axis right here. So if I reflect in the y-axis, I end up here. That's my G prime. F prime would be at 1, 2, 5, -2, so 2, 4, 5, -2. That's my F prime right here. D is going to be right here. That's my D prime, and then E prime would be out here. That's my E prime. So you end up with a trapezoid like this, and the rule for reflecting in the y-axis, A to B, is going to map to here. The A value flips, but B stays the same. So if this was positive 2, this ends up being -2, and they have the same y coordinate. The line x equals 2 is a vertical line. That's what messes people up the most. X equals 2 is a vertical line, and if you draw it, I think it's easy to reflect. You can just say I'm 1 to the right, so I need to go 1 to the left. That's M prime. I am 1, 2 to the left, so I need to go 2 to the right. That's L prime. I am 2 to the left down here as well, so that's P prime, and I'm 1 to the right, so that's N prime. And you end up with your rectangle right here. There's not really a rule we're going to try and remember for x equals 2. You have to be pretty clever with your algebra to create one. Y equals -3, so 1, 2, 3 is down here. That's a horizontal line. So horizontal line, T prime is actually going to stay there, so T is T prime. I'm 1 above, so I'm going to be 1 below. That's R is up here, so this is R prime. Down here, S, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is down here. That's S prime, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect them, and that's, again, you could create a rule, but we're not going to worry about it. The line y equals x is like this. That's a slope of +1. So you can usually eyeball it and say, why didn't that work? That should be up here. Oh, that should be up here. That will work better. Okay, good. So now I can usually eyeball it and say this is about half a unit, so it should be over here. That's I prime. If I make this still not perfect. There it goes, it's a little distorted. There's your I prime. This is about 1½ diagonal units, so I would do 1½ diagonal units, which is J prime, and H prime is 1, 2, 3 diagonal units, so 1, 2, this is so, I scaled it wrong, so it's not going to work great. 1, 2, 3 is right here, that's H prime. So you can see the triangle, but you can also remember the rule for this, and that is, if you're mapping across the line y equals x, all you do is flip B and A. You actually create, if it's a function, you create the inverse by flipping their values. And the last one, y equals -x, I got to draw this better. So y equals -x would be like that. That's pretty good. And I can do the same thing. I can count diagonal units. That's u prime, or that's 1½. So 1½ is v prime, and 1½ again, 1½ down here is w prime. You can see the reflection by counting these diagonal units, which are actually radical 2. Or you can use the rule, which is A and B is going to map to, you flip it and change their sign, so -B, -A is the rule for y equals, across y equals -x. The last thing is just some vocabulary. An isometry. An isometry is just a transformation, wow, type better, transformation that preserves, wow, length and angle measure. An isometry is a transformation that preserves length and angle measure. The pre-image, the way we usually describe the pre-image is the original figure, and an image, the way we usually describe the image is the new figure after a transformation. Let's see if I can type the word transformation better this time. So this is just some vocab, but you need to know what we're talking about when we say these things. And that's it for Unit 4.